Now, one thing that you'll find with the WebDriver API is that it's not extremely easy to assert or to verify things for a test. So if you wanted to check a condition, remember in the Selenium IDE how we had used that assert or verify? Well, let's take a look back at that file that we had generated from Selenium IDE with our test. So if you're unfamiliar with NUnit, this is using the NUnit framework, and we're going to see a little bit more about this in the last module where we talk about building a framework. We're not actually using NUnit just yet because we don't actually need NUnit. As you can see, we can just have a console application that runs our program because we're focusing on WebDriver API. But within here, you can see what's happening in the test, and you can see what the commands were. And this should look pretty familiar to you now. We have gone to a URL. We had just set the property, but you can do it this way as well. You can see we're finding some elements by ID. We're clearing text fields, sending keys. We're finding elements and clicking on them. We're doing it by CSS, by link text. But remember we had this assert? Well, this converts into an NUnit assert. And when we start using NUnit framework, this will be something that we can use. But the way that it does it is you can see it's using this regex is match, and then it's checking the title of the page and then using a regular expression. So this is one way to check your test. You would have to write this code yourself, and that's just to check whatever property you want to check. So for example, in this case, we're checking the title and we're using a regular expression, but you could just assert the title as exactly something, or however you want to handle this in your case here. And you can see also that this verified text present is unsupported. Now, we can actually check for text on a page, but it's just not in the framework itself. So let's go ahead and just look real quick at how we can do that. So we can do driver dot page source, and then from here we can do a contains, and then on this contains we can look for our value. So again, not the best way to do this. This API is a little bit lacking in this area, but you just have to keep in mind that if you want to verify things on the page, you're in control of that. The API is not going to do it for you. So you might check some things, for example, that there's some text on the page. You might check that an element is present just by doing this find element and then making sure that it actually returned a value. Whatever you want to verify or check in your test, you can do. You just have to do it yourself. And when we get into creating a framework, we'll see how we can simplify things and we can create some methods that help us to do this so that we don't have to rewrite the same logic of, for example, checking to see if there's text on a page.